Hey, welcome to Court Candy. This is a brand new basketball podcast that is part hoops, part hot takes, and all group chat energy.
I'm your host, Sloan, and if you love crossover dribbles and crossover drama, you're in the right place. With me today is my co-host, Kate. Say hi.
Hey, Sloan. How's it going?
It's good. Every week, we're breaking down what's sweet, what's salty, and maybe a little scandalous in the WN culture. From player beefs to pay gaps, sneaker culture to queer culture, and everything in between. Today, we've got a stacked lineup. First up, let's talk about Love and Basketball, which, by the way, is my favorite basketball film.
Yes, it is.
Then we're diving into the state of the WNBA CBA contract negotiation, what players want, what's at stake, and whether a lockout is imminent. And finally, the hottest topic in the moment right now, Sydney Sweeney and the American Eagle campaign.
Boo.
Boo. But before we dive in, let's hit the candy bar where we test candy and talk about something sweet in the WNBA, some little positive news. So let's do it. What do we have here, Kate?
Sure. So today, as your guest host, I brought some candies from a store called Farm Boy, which is a store here in Canada. What we have are some gummy bears of interestingly mixed sizes. So
show the camera and use the influencer hand, please. There you go. That's the gummy bear.
We've got a two-tone kind of big gummy bear here. And then we have also normal-sized mini gummy bears. So I'm very interested in the fact that this is like a mixed gummy bear situation.
It's yummy.
Are you chewing directly?
I just want them to hear it. It's like
is
ASMR. Yeah, it is. It is.
Did you take a mini or a big one?
I took a big chunky one.
Okay, I also want a chunky one.
It's very juicy.
I'm going to go with the one that perfectly matches my sweater.
Okay.
Do you like that?
And what do we have here?
Oh, and then these are candy straws. So there's like 3 flavors of them. They're kind of giving old school vibes. And since it's the first episode, I decided to go with some old school candies.
Yeah, I like that. Just where it started off.
I want this little one.
I got a double. That's always nice. It counts as one when it's stuck together.
Are we ASMRing it?
I'll speed this up. Don't worry. It's good. Okay, so talk about a sweet spot. What's something that brought you a little delight today? Or even this week?
Okay, I think my sweet spot was on the weekend. Mm-hmm. And it was the return of Jewel Lloyd.
Yes.
Jewel Lloyd, in my opinion, has been having a really tough season. And she is like historically a star. Like she's such a good player. She brings like very cool, like laid back vibes, but also energy on the court. And this season has just not been it. It's been really tough for her. She has not been sinking her shots. She has been starting lineup for the Aces and has just not been, adding a lot of value on the court, in my opinion. And it's been really disappointing to see because she is a great player. And yesterday's game, she came out and absolutely killed it. She was sinking threes. She was sinking field goals. I was so happy for her. And I just think she's such a legit player. I think she's so cool. She's got a great face. She's got her face card never declines. Yeah. I'm a Jewel Lloyd fan, and I was really happy to see her out in all of her glory yesterday. Yeah. So that was my sweet spot. Good work, Jewel Lloyd.
Yeah. Okay, so the sweet spot for me is that Kate and I went over the weekend. The Sabrina threes have dropped. This is a third iteration of the Sabrina sneaker collab with Nike, and we made a little video of us going to check out the Sabrina threes at the Nike store at Yorkdale, which is the mall in Toronto here. And then we posted it. We posted it on my TikTok, which is Sloan Talks Hoops. And lo and behold, the person that commented was Sabrina Ionescu herself. Yeah, the queen. It was like Beyonce commenting on a video that I took at her concert, but without the crying and the screaming on my end. So, having somebody like the queen come in, right off the All-Star game where she won the 3-point contest, and then giving half of that over to Sonia Citron, who's a rookie, and then coming in off of Pride Night at the Liberty game and just really coming in hard as an ally to the queer community. It just felt amazing to have her, take some time to interact with the fans and the community. And it just, it kind of felt good. I was just fangirling so hard. And I don't have a huge paranormal, is it paranormal?
She's a ghost. She's a ghost.
I haunt Sabrina.
Wait, which one is the ghost?
I moonlight as a ghost.
Okay.
I moonlight as a ghost. A parasocial relationship with Sabrina Ionescu. But She's somebody that, lots of, younger folks look up to, even like somebody like me who's much older than her, I look up to. So really great to see. Grandma.
Oh, I do want to say one little semi-sweet spot that was pretty cute was I was doing the New York Times crossword today, and Caitlin Clark was an entry.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Gonna put my nerd credentials out there.
I love your nerd credentials. Yeah. Okay, so amazing sweet spots, right? Okay, cool. So let's move on to our first segment, which is love and basketball. So let's talk about what really has the W buzzing. And for me, I love the basketball, but I also love the side stories of the love, which is something that W offers, which a lot of leagues don't right now. So it's not just about the triple doubles, the tunnel fits. I'm talking about love. Ooh. Is there a song that we can sing?
Every song about love has flown from my brain.
I know,
all I can think of is,
it's like when
let's
you get
talk
put on
about
the spot.
sex.
No. I got chasing.
I mean, we're kind of talking about that, but
chasing
we're talking
waterfalls.
about the love of it. Yeah.
So W is giving us everything. So what I want to talk about is, what is it about the W that is so conducive as two queer women here, to queer relationships? Like, how is it that, queer relationships can just be so open and supported and loved by the league, players, as well as fans? Like, what do you think it is?
First of all, I love it. It's so fun. It's I'm not much of a reality TV kind of girl. I love people who love it. I have just never watched Love Island. I never really watched The Bachelor. I've watched a little bit of Ultimatum Queer Love, and I can get through maybe 2 episodes a season. I'm not big on the dating shows.
I'm not a fan. Yeah.
But there's something about the W. It's because I feel like I understand their skill set. I feel like, especially, on social, we get the teams doing their kind of behind the scenes things with all the players, which I absolutely love. And so we kind of get familiar with these women. And then you end up caring about their, about what's going on with them. And there is something so delightful about the kind of they're not enemies, but enemies to lovers. You're playing against each other on the court, but behind the scenes, you're loving on each other. I think it's really cute. It's also really cute when the players are on the same team.
Yes.
And in terms of the league of it, I think part of it is that I'm a basketball lover. I don't really follow a lot of other leagues or sports the same way. I think probably if you were really into the PWHL, you'd see some similar plot lines coming up. But I think basketball is a pretty gay sport.
Yeah.
I think women's sports in general are pretty gay.
Pretty gay.
Yeah. But there's something.
Gay women are carrying sports on their back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is it, I don't know, is it that women who are gay liked sports because they could be themselves? They could be tomboys, or they could just kind of be with people like them, even at a young age before they knew who they were.
Yeah.
Or is it this gay sport, the women's sports of it all, that makes you more gay? Is it, obviously nature versus nurture. I think it's mostly nature, but I also think everyone's a little bit on the spectrum.
Yeah.
So is it that basketball brings it out of people and being around queer women brings it out of people? Or is it that you flock to at a young age because it's where you feel safe? What do you think?
Well, for me, I started off in sports. I was the biggest tomboy ever. And I look back at photos. I'm like, how could we have missed the clues? The clues are so evident, with a backwards trucker hat, playing sports with the boys, refusing even to tie my hair up because that was just so girly, So I think for me, it was such a safe space for me to play with the boys, because it just, I can't even describe it. Just going back and analyzing my childhood, I started off playing sports because it was just a place where I belonged, a place where I just felt my authentic self. So maybe that's where it is. And then you grow up and you just continue in a place that you feel comfortable and supported. But I really feel lucky that there is a community like the W, like women's sports, that is safe for queer individuals, whether you're there as a player, on the staff, or as a fan. I love it.
Yeah. And I think it's probably worth mentioning that it has not always been this way.
No.
Even in the W, I think first of all, in the States, gay marriage was made legal in 2015.
Right.
For reference, in Canada, that was 2003.
Yeah.
Which I'm very proud about.
Yay, Canada.
But even then, when the league started, gay marriage was not legal in it anywhere, pretty much. Certainly not in either of these countries. And a lot of these players still face like the risk of persecution overseas where they play. You look at, technically, Brittany Griner was locked up for other things, but I think it probably did not help her case that she was a 6'9" tall, masculine presenting basketball player who also is not white. I'm sure that did not help her case in terms of being in Russia for such a long time. So I think it's worth just sort of taking a moment to recognize the trailblazing work of a lot of the women in the league who came out before it was safe to do so, or even just presented themselves authentically before it was, but even if they weren't visible, like they hadn't said that they were gay, but they expressed themselves in their manner and their clothing in such a way that they looked gay. And I think that we'd be remiss not to thank these women, not to acknowledge the trials that a lot of them went through being queer women in a public space in the 90s and early 2000s, for sure.
I agree. Thank you so much for bringing that up. You're right. There were trailblazers because, like you said, it just happened like a few years ago, less than 10 years ago. I don't even think it was that safe.
I feel like and you can fact check me on this, so please do that on the video. But I think the first Pride night in the WNBA was in 2014.
Oh.
We now have Pride themed nights. That is standard. They're so fun. We were there for Pride night in 2024. It was such a great night. This past weekend was again the Liberty Pride night in late July. And it was great, super, super fun. So, that was 10 years ago, 11 years ago now, but 10 years before we were at a Pride night would have been the first Pride night in the W. Yeah. So all that to say, it is huge how far, how much the world has changed in the last 10 years. Yeah.
And they're all trying to silence it.
Okay, they literally took down the word, any reference to bisexuals at Stonewall, let alone our trans sisters and brothers. They took out the word bisexual. Why are you trying to erase me? What are we
Don't
doing
erase
here?
me. We're so nice. We're such good people.
Actually, there's a lot of bi erasure right now.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, a lot of people are mad at bisexual people. Why? Tell me.
We love everyone. Okay, so let's talk about some fun stuff about this.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the goodies, the sweet stuff. Have a gummy bear.
I'm gonna have a candy straw, actually.
Okay. I don't know if this podcast is gonna be for our blood sugar levels. I don't know how it's gonna impact.
Thankfully, it's only weekly.
Okay,
it's their only candy intake for the week.
All right. So, who's your favorite couple in the W?
Oh, I think you got to go first.
Okay, I got it first. I love at the All-Star weekend that Paige hard launched her relationship with AZ Fudd. I thought that was incredible. When she was
Paisy
is what I would probably just chant at them, and they would think I was an old weirdo. Anyways, I digress. So many soft launches, so many clues. We didn't want to assume. We are very polite people. We don't out people who don't outwardly say it.
We wished.
All those good things. And then she was interviewed by WAG, and they asked her who her D1 girlfriend was, and she said AZ Fudd. And then we all collectively screamed, cried, and passed out, and then woke up and cheered. So love that for them. I'm so proud of them. But I think my favorite relationship is definitely Dejanay and Nalissa, because they've been together forever, ever since their days at Baylor, and they're just a fun couple, and they show it, and they've been through so much together. My favorite I would say instance is that they played together last night, Vegas against Dallas. It was so hard to see them torn apart earlier this year, because one of my favorite things about them being on the same team of the Dallas Wings is that every time Dejanay missed and then Nalissa jumped up and made the basket, that was a true form of love for me. It was just the sweetest thing that you could ever do.
Girl.
I got you, girl. I literally got you, girl, which is so sweet. But yesterday, Dejanay literally fouled Nalissa and then gave her a love tap on the butt. And then the commentators are just oh, she just got fouled by a former teammate, which is girl. We know they're together. And then when Alyssa went to the foul line, Diogene walked by her and it was like, stop flopping. And then I just like, that sent me.
Former teammate is like the basketball euphemism for roommate.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's really what it is. But anyways, I love that. I'm constantly cheering for them as a couple.
So cute.
It's so cute. What
Can
about
I
you?
say, okay, before I get into mine, I want to circle back for one quick second. Quickly back to AZ Fudd is I love that the league is now like 30 years old because we have players nowadays who are about to join the W, like probably next year, who are named after WNBA players.
All right, she is.
She's named after Jennifer Azzi, who was a WNBA player in the 90s.
Yes.
And then she was born in the era of the WNBA. And just like what that means, okay, I was not a girl who played sports. I was a girl who played music.
Yes.
I am like the least tomboy, the least athletic, never played a team sport in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not grow up caring about women in sports.
Mm-hmm.
But can you imagine being a girl nowadays who is interested in sports and not just having like the WNBA existing back in the 90s when it was small and they played in basically like college sports facilities, but having the WNBA be the size that it is now, having women on building tall billboards in Times Square for Nike, like just how exciting that must be for girls who love sports and probably other girls too, I assume. I was one of those other girls, but I don't know. It just brings me a lot of joy that AZ Fudd is named after a WNBA player. It's great.
And that her mom was actually scouted to the Monarchs. No, not scouted. Sorry, drafted to the Monarchs, that she was a WNBA player.
Where were the Monarchs?
Sacramento?
I don't think that Paisley counts as a favorite couple because AZ Fudd is not yet in the WNBA.
Okay.
So they're not a WNBA couple. And my favorite couple right now is Natasha Cloud and Isabel Harrison.
Right.
So Tash and Izzy, okay, admittedly, I don't know that much about Izzy. She is very beautiful, obviously. But really, Tash is what brings me so much joy as it relates to this relationship. So during the skills challenge, when Holly Rowe was interviewing her, she was like, what are you going to do with the money if you win? And Tash was like, I'm going to buy a place for me and my girl. Like, I love her. We want to start building a home together. And it's just so cute because, like, again, kind of going back to the conversation we were having about the history of women being out in the league, like it would not have been that long ago where it would have been frowned upon to say like openly, I'm gonna buy a house for me and my girlfriend who's right here on the team. And when she won the skills challenge, Izzy ran up to her and she like picked her up by the hips. Like it was just so cute. And that really brings me a lot of joy. So they're my couple right now. And also Tasha's vibes are so cool. Like she just has so much swag.
So cool.
She's got great style. Her hair is so fun and interesting. She just like is ultimate cool girl vibes, and then also just seems like such a fun person. Like she's a joker. She loves her power straight. She
the
loves
best
her
type woman in the world.
I love it, and she's great. She's a great baller.
Great baller. Using that as a segue into our next segment.
Let's do it.
It's not using the money to buy a house. It was using the money to actually put down on a place to live. Right? So Natasha Cloud has been in the W for 10 years and she's using the money, $50,000 to put down in a house. As a professional athlete, I would assume that you would have the money already and be drowning in money.
If she was paid what she's owed.
And this actually brings us to segment number 2. Pay them what you owe them. Okay, let's talk facts. WNBA players are severely underpaid, overworked, and still carrying the league. They made it very clear when they all wore the Pay Us What You Owe Us t-shirts at the All-Star game. According to Yahoo Sports, the WNBA had a record 2024 season, historic viewerships, merch sales, and sold-out arenas. 5 new teams are joining the league. They are Toronto, Portland, Philly, Detroit, and Cleveland. And in 2026, which these CBA negotiations are for, the league kicks off with an 11-year media rights deal worth $2.2 billion.
With a B.
$billion. But despite all that growth, the players are still not getting paid fairly. Claudia Golden, Harvard economist and 2023 Nobel Peace Prize winner, has been advising the WNBPA during CBA talks. Golden says the average WNBA salary should be 25 to 33% of NBA salaries to reach true equity. And just to give you some context, WNBA players are only getting around 9% of WNBA revenue. Here's what we're working with. WNBA salaries currently are between $66,000 to $249,000. That's for the elite players. NBA salaries are between $1.27 million to $50 million for top players. So
Okay,
imagine
such a big number.
That's a huge disparity. So imagine this. If WNBA players negotiate 50% revenue share like in the NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL, the average salary by 2026 could be $1.49 million per player. That's 10 times more than what they're making now. And they're even saying they're not even trying for 50% of revenue. They just want to be paid fairly. So this is what's on the table. Higher salary caps, revenue sharing, continued charter flights, maternity parental benefits, off-season player protections so that they're not forced to play overseas, so that they can actually rest their bodies. Because you can see how many players are currently injured right now from playing like so many days a year. So let's talk about it. Should WNBA players get their fair share of what the NBA players are making or more?
Yes.
Yes.
Is being my answer.
Yes is the answer. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's insane to suggest otherwise.
Yeah.
There are so many men who are going to come into the comments.
Why
on
is it
this
always
video.
men?
It's always men. It's always men that are going to come into the comments and be like, yeah, well, the league like doesn't earn money. And like, what do they want? Like a percentage of $0. Like, I want to be really clear. These women are employees. They are being paid to do their job. And they are the best in the world at their job. Of women's basketball players all around the world, these players are the best. They should be earning a fair amount of money for the quality of work they are putting out, for the product that they are putting out, for what they put on the line as far as their bodies go and their health goes. Like, it's just crazy to suggest that they should not be paid more when this league has money. Like, it's not that they're swimming in it, but there is capacity to increase the percentage that goes to players. And also, I think, that doesn't have to be 50% tomorrow.
No.
Like, that could be 25% in 2026, 27.5% in 2027. And you increase by 2.5 or something like that every year as the league continues to increase its viewership, increase its capacity as we add 5 new teams in over the next 5 years. Like, there are ways to make this happen. And I agree with you. These women are stretched. We see the incident of injuries is so high. It's not uncommon. You see a rookie come in their rookie year and have a major injury. ACLs. Why do you think that happens? Mm-hmm. Because they just played through a brutal season. They're usually champions in their NCAA league. And
weeks later,
they're in the W playing at a professional level. And I love that for them from a professional perspective, but it puts them at risk of injury. And then you see the pros who play a full season with the W and then go off to play a full winter season in Turkey, in China, in Australia, wherever. And again, like, they deserve to ball, but they deserve to be paid enough to do it over the course of the regular season.
Right.
Like, we don't see the NBA players having to go and, play in China in their off season. No. Like, that's just not needed because they're paid so much money during the regular season.
Exactly. And it's unfair to say that, hey, you know what? Yeah, sure. Caitlin Clark is making $78,000 a year, but she's supplementing her income by getting these Nike brand deals, like getting these like Gatorade deals, and she's making like $28 million over the course of how many years to supplement her income. But that shouldn't be the case. Like, these players should not have to go outside of their regular jobs to get these deals. But that's only like a small percentage of WNBA players who are getting these brand deals. So like, whoever's like playing and not getting these brand deals, they're getting that small salary, which doesn't, really make a lot for them.
Yeah. And like, I think it's really important here to talk about, the marketability of these players. I think, you see certainly players that are coming in hot off their NCAA wins or like great college careers, and you see them having name, image, likeness, like NIL deals in their undergrad years. Like that's great. But you know, there are players that get more money from sponsors and from partnerships, and it's, you know, major name, massive players. Obviously you get your, you know, your Asia Wilsons, your Sabrina Ionescu's, your Caitlin Clark's, but also you look at that broad set of people, it indexes heavily towards attractive, slim, often white women.
Right.
It's an uneven, if that
Who
money
are often
is
straight, by the way.
Yeah, it's a good point. This is a very good point.
Yeah.
Those are mostly
Those
straight
are the
women.
power straights.
And like when you look at the amount of money that is available to flow into the league and its players, it's a lot of money. We can tell there's tens of millions of dollars available to flow into the league.
Right.
It is not going equally or even equitably. Again, there's a difference between equal and equitable. We are not saying that every player needs to earn the exact same dollars. We are not saying that they need to earn the same money as the NBA, but there needs to be some kind of equity. It is not fair for someone who is putting in the effort, the quality of play. They're, you know, starting lineup for their team. They're one of the big three, but they don't have the same contracts. They don't have the same access necessarily.
Look at Kelsey Mitchell.
I know, who's the second highest paid player in the whole league, as a side note, which is great. But that means that she is earning just
like
under,
I think it's like $289,000, and Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston had to like vouch for that when she was a free agent to come back to the Fever.
Yeah, it's like something like it's just under the cap, basically. Yeah, and like whatever it is, that's like. Kelsey Mitchell's one of the best players in the league, could easily be a contender for MVP, but she's not like a shiny player, you know? Like you look at there are players that are shiny. There's
shiny players,
You know, you've got your Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum. She's shiny. Like people like her. They enjoy her vibes and
Kelsey
whatever.
just goes out and plays. She just goes out and balls.
Yeah, she's a career player. She's extremely good at what she does. She's been in the league for a handful of years. She's still young though. Like she's not like vintage. She's not my age. And she doesn't, I don't think that she lives the same life as some of these other players.
No, she's not on social media.
She doesn't have
not a lot of it. Like
access. And a player should not have to do all of the social and be a public figure in order to get paid fairly.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah. You shouldn't have to do so much more than playing your job. So doing your job,
and playing the ball,
and playing the game, playing the game. So
doing your job and playing the game.
This is such a nuanced conversation, because if you're looking for a better product, like players on top of their game coming in, you want to make sure that they're paid properly so that they're not overextending themselves and then getting injured. Like you have Caitlin Clark injured, and they're saying that, you know, viewership is down like 30 to 40%, like for the All-Star game or whatever, then you want to make sure that she's completely healthy, right? Like you want to make sure that all the other players are completely healthy because they're getting paid fairly and they're able to rest.
It benefits the league to have players that are not injured. And obviously people will get injured even if they're playing reasonable seasons, but there are some great players that have been out for a long time. It makes me sad. Okay, the other thing that really pisses me off about the discourse online, especially from men as it relates to women's basketball, is like men's obsession with the idea that women play a different kind of basketball than men play. And they're like, once they can dunk, they can get paid. What? Why is that your measure of good basketball? It makes no sense at all. Like, these women play good basketball. Like, you ask professional ballers, like, they love watching the women's game because they're playing with energy. They're playing with skills, like team skills, like the passing, the ball movement, the handling, the blocking, everything. Like, you don't need to dunk to be playing good basketball. And it is just such a stupid argument.
So stupid.
Like, it's so fucking... It's such like a unnecessary measure of quality. Yeah. And it just drives me fucking crazy.
Yeah. And on that topic, if you're like a basketball creator, like a women's sports creator, all you need to do is make a post about how women should be paid more in sport, or just call the NBA MNBA, and you're going to get the most engagement ever, because it's just a bunch of men coming over and just commenting about how women should be squashed, because the fact that they're acting like the money is coming out of their own pocket and they're just completely butthurt about it and saying that women don't deserve to be paid more in the WNBA and that they should be paying to be playing because they were losing like $50 million a year, when the data is showing that they're going to be making so much more and turning a profit as of next year. And the CBA negotiations, by the way, are for 2026 onward. Like, they just refuse to listen to any logic. So that backlash from like the general public is just completely idiotic.
When the men are like, these women should be paying to play, I want to fucking smack them in their faces. It makes me so angry.
Kate is so triggered right now.
I think we're all triggered. Well, the other thing that's been triggering me is yesterday the Lionesses, the UK national team, won the Euros, like the women's soccer championship in Europe.
Yeah.
And they pulled out a win. It was outstanding. And men online, of course, after the women's team played a great game, it was tied right until the end. England won in penalties. You know, I mean, that may not be how people love the game to finish, but like, England won, and there's still men online being like, high school kids could have beaten these women, and like, it's the worst boring game, and blah blah blah. It's just the idiocy. Like, if you hate women, just say you hate women, because it's extremely clear that you do. You are not a fan of the sport if you cannot enjoy the sport if it's not played by men. And by the way, male soccer players are so whiny on the pitch.
They're so whiny.
It's
Talk
insane.
about flopping. They like write the masterclass
Literally.
on flopping.
Literally.
Anyways, I'm not going to sit here and bash male players. I'm just going to sit here and say, please check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah.
That is a term for the millennials who get it, because it's just completely unfair. Just say it if you hate women. Don't go out masquerading and saying that women shouldn't get paid more.
And also, I want to say it's not the players. Like, male players are almost universally
NBA players
across
are all
the
for
board supportive of women in sports. Who the hell would not be? If you love sport, you love sport. You love what it does for people, for community, for growing yourself, for the fitness of it, for the joy of it. You love the game. Male athletes are not shitting on women who are playing the game, and certainly are not shitting on professional players. They love professional women in sport. It is trolls online. It is men in their basements. So I am not dissing any male players here, but if you're commenting on this video about how women don't deserve to play, then I'm talking about you.
We're talking about you. I'm not even going to call you sir. We're talking about you, God. If they don't come to an agreement by a certain date, there could be a lockout, a strike. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think Unrivaled's going to do really well in the case of a lockout.
Do you think that Unrivaled is competition? Fia said that they are not competition to the WNBA and they are complementary to each other.
I think they can be complementary, and I think it's a great thing, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't actually mean that like Unrivaled is going to win if the WNBA loses out here. Mm-hmm. I don't want that. I think having a strong ecosystem is great. The other thing about Unrivaled, like, I know we talk about the risk of injury when players are playing overseas, but like, Unrivaled is a very short season. It's 3-on-3. They're shorter games. They don't travel. They don't tour. It's a different load on the body, and I don't think it's nothing, but I don't think it's as brutal as playing overseas for an entire other season. And I love the idea of these leagues living together for a long time to come. So
and they
but
also
I do think that they would win.
They pay their players fairly too, right? How come a startup that has like $50 million in capital can pay their players fairly, and the WNBA is a legacy league that is supposedly, well, not supposedly, but you know, subsidized by the NBA can't?
Yeah, well, probably because they don't have to send 40% of their revenues to the NBA.
Ooh, we can talk about that later. Anyways,
maybe for another episode. We'll definitely do a follow-up after, well, if I'm invited back.
Yes.
We'll do a follow-up once we hear more about the CBA negotiations.
Okay. So, hottest headline today is that Sydney Sweeney is in an American Eagle campaign that has not been received well at all, for very good reason. And so Kate has a lot of comments. I'll pass it off over to her to give you a little summary as to what's going on, and we'll chat about it.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about it.
This has been top of mind all day today. And I am so angry. So Sydney Sweeney, we know her. She exists. She is blonde.
She's human. She's alive.
She's blonde. She's blue-eyed. She's slim. She's pale, like white. Pale,
Well endowed.
Well endowed. Great body. You know, she's got a lot going for her. And over the weekend, or maybe late last week, I can't remember the exact day, American Eagle released their newest ad campaign with Sydney Sweeney in it. And in it, there are a few different clips. One of them, I mean, they're relatively sexualized, but she essentially in the ad is talking about genetics and genes. And at the end of the ad, it says Sydney Sweeney has good genes. And then there's another part, kind of punchline part of it where she says, my genes are blue. And then it says Sydney Sweeney has good genes. So I should have said that part first. But she's like writhing around on the floor and one of them trying to get her jeans done up. Very kind of sexualized, very inspired by the 1990s ad with Brooke Shields in it when she was 14 years old, writhing around, getting her jeans on and talking about genetics also. That was very earlier in the days of genes and genetics and DNA and all that stuff. So everything about Brooke Shields just makes me really sad.
It just makes me sad too.
But then this Sydney Sweeney ad is a callback to that. But people online are very rightfully saying that it is like the least dog whistly, the loudest dog whistle that you can imagine to racists, because you have a very conventionally attractive, slim, well kind of figured, like, you know, curvy but skinny, blonde, white woman with blue eyes talking about how genetics are passed down from parents to children and how her eyes are blue and she has good genes. She says, my genes are blue. Blue jeans, my jeans are blue, really is giving blue blood vibes.
Yeah.
And like the reference to blue blood, sangre azul, I think is what it was called. It was a Spanish term for basically royalty, people who were pale enough that you could see their blue veins under their pale skin. I mean, that's like me. I'm extremely white. So to be clear, I am saying this all from my own place of privilege as a white woman with blue eyes and in my case red hair, but still, like, it's so crazy. It is like, it's capturing this horrible moment in culture where there is like a significant shift back to
that's Maisie growling.
It's amazing.
Maisie, we're recording a podcast.
Significant shift to like towards a more racist, more traditional worldview. There's a lot happening in the States right now that is very scary, very anti-immigrant, very anti-people of color. There are communities of literal racists who are creating towns that only white people are allowed
in South
to
Africa,
live in.
right?
No, literally in the States.
No, I thought it was
this
South
is
Africa.
happening in Appalachia.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like I was reading an article on this over the weekend.
Gosh.
Oh yeah, the only refugees that are being let into the US right now are white South Africans. Like, it's just, the racism is not even like simmering under the surface.
It's
the
like in your face.
racism is like splashing out
Right.
of the water. It's like racism. And this ad is speaking to a cultural moment in the worst way possible.
It is.
It is like so unquiet and just upsetting and quite sick. And like anybody who says like, oh, surely you're reading too much into it, like how could they possibly mean that? Like we are both marketers.
Yeah,
like
we're
we've
marketers.
both been marketers
For
big old
big
companies.
tech companies. Yeah.
And nothing is an accident.
Nothing is an accident.
Nothing is an accident. They did not go through this whole process with a whole bunch of vetting and a whole bunch of senior people on it and people filming it and lawyers and press people, like PR people and like script writers and editors and everything. They did not go through this whole process without somebody in there saying like, does this seem a little questionable? They did it on purpose.
One thing I do want to call out as we talk about the teams and like the vetting process for this ad campaign is that if you look at the executive team, and to be honest with you, executive teams don't really get involved with the ad campaigns, right? All white, just a white team right? So I'm wondering if American Eagle or whoever their parent company is or whatever, anything like that, has any people of color on their team.
Well, I mean, even the name American Eagle just sounds like so, like if you couldn't come up with a more dog whistly name for a company. And I know this company's been around for a way longer time. I'm just going to go ahead
and say it as a person of color. This is the whitest brand I've ever seen.
Yeah, 100%.
So even just looking at, so I did some research, and the executive team, no people of color. So I'm imagining that even below and middle management probably doesn't have a lot of people of color, just white folks.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think like one of the things here is, you know, what does it matter? Like, you know, plenty of people would say like, what does it matter? Maybe they're the best people for the job. And first of all,
what does it matter?
Well, exactly. And so I think
gummy bear.
What we're seeing here
my
is
feelings.
If there was a vetting process that this ad went through with any level of senior leadership, and frankly, an ad campaign this big, this major, with a major movie star coming from this brand, probably did have very senior oversight. Like, this is not just a small ad that went out, you know, that's like, this is not a seasonal ad campaign that landed in email inboxes showing off some jeans. We're talking major market. If you don't have enough representation in your company to be able to provide a diverse perspective, then you are not in a position to be able to anticipate some of the feedback to an ad campaign like this. And it's a choice by the company to kind of do this dog whistle and to lean into these kind of traditional white values that we, you know, that we acknowledge are there, but that we're seeing so like in such a real way right now.
Also, it's also Sydney Sweeney's choice, right? Like, Sydney Sweeney is not somebody that we can just say, oh, you know, she didn't know, she's just talent. Of course she knew.
I think it's well known at this point that she comes from a conservative background. You know, I can't speak to specific statements, but my understanding is that
of her mom, like, being MAGA, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like she has ties to this community. And then the other crazy thing about this ad campaign is that in theory, it's raising money for like mental health services for victims of domestic violence.
It is. So the element of the campaign is that all proceeds, so 100% of the proceeds, go to the Crisis Text Line, which is a nonprofit that offers confidential mental health support to anyone 24/7.
And specifically victims of or survivors of domestic abuse?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Exactly. But none of that was mentioned in the advertising campaign.
It's not mentioned in the ad campaign. And then also, why would you choose, okay, aside from the racist overtones at this point in time, why would you choose such an overtly sexualized ad when we're talking about mental health for the survivors of domestic abuse?
The math ain't mathin'.
It doesn't make any sense. She's writhing around on the floor trying to do her jeans up like she's just been at it with somebody.
There was so much cleave.
Yeah, and then she literally has to tell the camera to like look up here because it's down in her cleavage. Like, how is this aligned with the overall message? I cannot wrap my head around it. It makes no sense to me.
It is
make sense.
It's a stretch. So, you know, this is a huge loss. As a marketer, the brand ain't branding. The math ain't mathin'.
The boycott is starting.
The boycott is boycotting.
This was such a good conversation, Sloan. Thank you so much for having me on today. I had a lot of fun and I got a little heated, but it was really great.
Yeah. No.
Did you have a favorite part?
Well, okay, so my favorite part was talking about everything. I actually didn't have a favorite part. This was our first episode, and I really didn't know where it was going to go. I honestly thought it would be like half an hour, and that would be it. So there's going to be a lot of editing involved, but I'm really looking forward to watching it all back.
So what are your candy grades? What are your thoughts on the candy?
The candy, I always love a good gummy bear, and I will always love licorice. So thank you so much for bringing them.
Would we call them licorice?
Licorice straws.
That is a generous assessment. They're both unappetizing and extremely delicious all at once.
It's very sweet.
It's very sweet. The innards are kind of like almost like frosting sugar.
Innards just throws me off and makes it very unappetizing for me. So please don't ever call that again.
The stuffing?
Honestly, Kate, it's been a blast chatting with you about, love and basketball, talking about the CBA negotiations, pay them what you owe them. And then obviously talking about eugenics and, getting to a heavier topic of Sydney Sweeney and the American Eagle fiasco.
Oh my God, we didn't even get into eugenics.
Oh my God.
I could go on forever.
Obviously, representation matters and DEI matters. But yeah, it's been wonderful. So if you are sweet on us, get it? Sweet on us because we're called Court Candy. Follow us on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. Please hit subscribe. We're Court Candy Pod on TikTok and on Instagram. Leave us a rating and share the pod with your starting five. Until next time, stay bold, stay sweet, and stay locked in. Thank you.
Cool.